The reason is because when you're a broker for a company, that company was setting the compensation. Whereas the advisor, the RIA, they have the direct relationship with the client. They're setting the compensation directly with the client. And when we understand that fiduciary duty is not about comprehensive advice, fiduciary duty is about making sure that your advice is based on, any confidence is based on the source of compensation. So it's not about economic outcomes. It's not about product lines. It's all about where's my income coming from? And if it's coming from any source other than the client, I need to disclose it and get their consent. Yeah, we'll do it. Absolutely. And we'll make sure that that white paper gets out to everybody too, because I want people to be kept out of trouble. And not to mention, if someone asks you, are you a fiduciary? And you are not, how do you save face? How do you turn that into an opportunity? And my general answer is you can highlight your designations, you can highlight your years of experience, how many clients you have. I consider myself a fiduciary educator. I'm going to help you understand the wealth building decisions you've made. I'm going to help you understand what your opportunities are going forward and what the consequences are of your decisions. My goal is to help you understand all of that and help you make the best decisions possible. What more can anybody want?
I love that. Well, and that's what most consumers feel like that's what fiduciary means. They don't understand that all fiduciary means is I'm going to tell you what I'm going to make, how I'm going to make it, and I'm going to get you to sign here saying it's okay for me to make that. That's really all it entails.
Which is why they called it the prohibited transaction exception form, right? You're not allowed to do this because your compensation is coming from outside the client because it's coming from a third party. But if I get your consent and disclose, now it's okay. Prohibited transaction exception. You know, most people don't know why that term, why it was called. That's the reason why. Now, at some point, I think some law will be passed that will require some sort of disclosure. And at that point, we should be ready on the offensive. I'll disclose my commissions, but here's the thing. I'm going to disclose what your fees would have been, your lower income would have been, and your potential tax liability according to current tax law. And I'll compare it, and I will be the better bargain with my massive commission.
But let me ask you, do you know who the most famous fiduciary of all time is? Well, like, no. It's like, you ever heard of Bernie Madoff? They're like, wait, what? That guy's a fiduciary? It's like, yeah. It's like, so let me ask you something. It's just like you could take your kid and drop your kid into the worst school in your state. And you know what? They could get a phenomenal teacher and get a phenomenal education because they happen to find this fantastic teacher. Conversely, you could put your kid in the most expensive private school on the planet. And guess what? They could get a crappy education. It could happen, right? Because the quality of the individual that you're working with is really the most important part.
Exactly. Fiduciary duty, I liken it to a restraining order. It just tells you how hard you can sue and tells them the police where to start looking for the bodies. That's it.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with people knowing what I make. You have no issues paying a realtor, 6-8% between buyer and seller on make money if I sell something. And I make money if I solve a problem and a client decides to buy products I have to offer. And those are two inherently different things. And I could go and sell and talk them into things that they don't need. That's where we see persistency issues and chargebacks and all these other issues. I don't have that issue. Why? Because my clients want a solution and I'm not selling, they're buying the solution to the problem they have from a perspective they own.